So it's been quite some time since I last uploaded a video. I was in a hiatus for almost 1 month. Though I was uploading YouTube shorts on the request of Enrico H. That too I started, I guess, 3 to 4 days back, and Enrico H actually asked me to make a video on vocabulary, but as you know, the channel does not belong to a category of English grammar, so I decided to make YouTube shorts for his part. You can check out the link of the playlist to the link in the description. So today I'm here to talk about time travel, paradox, and parallel universe, and trust me on this, it is a very fascinating topic and a little bit confusing as well, so I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So let's get going. So before diving into the depth of the topic of time travel, first of all, it is very important for us to know the basics of the topic. So what is time travel? Time travel is actually the traveling from one point of time to another. By saying one point of time to another, I mean to the past and to the future. Yes, you cannot travel to the present because you're already living in the present. Like, you cannot travel to Russia from Russia, or you cannot travel to US from US. Likewise, you cannot travel to present from present. So, time travel is the concept through which you can travel or you can move from one point of time to another. When we read about the concept of time travel, the concept of paradox comes into play automatically. So let's gain some knowledge about paradoxes as well. What is paradox? Paradox is the apparent confusion or contradiction which one encounters while reading about the cosmos or while reading a logical statement about the universe. Why did I use the word apparent? Because it appears to be. Yes, it is not confirmed, but when you read about paradoxes, I'm sure you're getting mad at some point of time because they are so confusing and the answers to those questions are very difficult to get. What I'm saying right now might be sounding confusing, but when I read the examples and explaining about paradoxes, you'll agree with my statement, surely. So the two broad divisions of paradoxes are logical and temporal, out of which temporal is very much related with time travel, while logical is very much related with the logic. Some examples of logical paradoxes are liar paradox and Barbar paradox, while that of temporal paradox is grandfather paradox. And grandfather paradox is whole fascinating concept whole in itself. You will get that once we come to that point. First, let's read about liar paradox. Liar paradox was the first published paradox and it is the simplest, but it is confusing. Let me clear it in the very start, but it is simple, okay? So let's deal with the example. Let's learn it with the example. There's a person who is famous for lying, okay? And the entire town knows that he lies. One day, that same very person comes in front of you and says that I am lying. Is that true or false? Because he always lies, but this time he's not lying, he's saying true. But it cannot be true because he always lies. So, is it a true statement or a false statement? You are stuck in an infinite loop. This question has no answers to it. This is the magic of paradox. Paradoxes are actually infinite loops and you'll just go around it, but there won't be any answer to it. Now let's learn about Barbar paradox with an example statement. Why did I say statement? Because this is a clue which proves the Barbar paradox. Okay, so there's a village, and there are certain rules in the village, and those rules are: no person can shave himself, but a person who knows how to shave can shave others. So there's a barber, and he can shave everyone who cannot shave. So does the barber shave himself? Can the barber shave himself? Because it is illegal to shave to those who cannot shave, but the barber can shave. You're again stuck in an infinite loop. Now, let's learn about the most fascinating paradox, the grandfather paradox, which belongs to the category of temporal paradox. So, tie your belts because it is going to be the most surprising out of all of them, and it is going to blow your mind if you've never heard about that before. Okay, so you created a time machine using your brains. So let's believe in brains more than miracles. It was no miracle. It was your brain that you created a time machine. You created a time machine to travel to your past. So you're a past person. You want to change your past, or you want to explore your past, or whatever. Okay? But this time is the evil you going to the past. You took a knife with yourself to kill your grandfather. Just to learn about grandfather paradox, let's believe that you are evil for next 1 minute. Okay? So you took a knife along with yourself, went to the past, and killed your grandfather when he was not married. So as he was not married, your father wasn't there. You weren't there. But if you weren't there, who created a time machine and went to the past? Because I just said in the very start, in the very beginning, that you made your time machine using your brains and then traveled to the past to kill your grandfather. So, what is it? You are stuck in an infinite loop. You're actually not stuck in an infinite loop. You are stuck in a very, confusing situation. So as we learned about paradoxes, it is right time to learn about parallel universes, because I'm sure that the concept of parallel universe will help you solve many of those contradictory and confusing questions. So what is parallel universe? Parallel universe is also popularly known as multiverse. Okay, according to the concept of parallel universe, there is a duplicate timeline. So your real timeline or the real world is going on. Along with it, there's a duplicate timeline or the duplicate world also going on. The same things are happening there also. The same past, the same present, the same future is there also. But real remains real, so it is the duplicate one. Now, let's take back the grandfather's paradox. You created a time machine in the real world, then you went to the past. But now if we take parallel universe and mix it with grandfather's paradox, you created a time machine, but you did not travel to the real past. Instead, you traveled to the past of the duplicate universe. So the changes you do in the parallel universe does not affect the changes in the real universe. By saying that, I mean that you didn't kill your real grandfather. Instead, you killed the grandfather of the parallel universe. So as we discussed all of this, you came to know that parallel universe can solve all of these problems, but the concept of parallel universe is still not confirmed. The discussion on parallel universe and the existence of parallel universe is still going on, but it can solve many questions. So as we're done with the learning of parallel universe and paradoxes, it is the right time for us to learn about butterfly effect. Well, butterfly effect is also a fascinating and a nice concept. So what is butterfly effect, or what is the definition of butterfly effect? According to the butterfly effect, a small change can change a lot. No, it's not that you don't study today or you don't read anything today, it can affect your future. No, I'm not your parent, I'm not scolding you for that. Okay, let's come back to physics. Okay, let's learn about butterfly effect with the help of an example. You created a time machine. You already did it using your brains. You remember that while learning the grandfather's paradox? So you use the same time machine and went to the past. Okay, you didn't go there to kill your grandfather. It was not the evil you're going there. Okay, so you went there and you felt thirsty, so you drank a glass of water. It was just kept there on a table. Okay. Then you hit yourself somewhere. Suddenly, a person came there who was very thirsty, but his thirst was on an extreme level. It was like, if he don't drink water, he will die. And he actually dies. So because if you drinking that glass of water, that person actually dies. So drinking a glass of water was not a big deal, but the death of the person, because of you drinking that glass of water, was a big thing. So this is what butterfly effect is, that doing a small change can affect a lot. You drinking a glass of water wasn't a big deal, but the death of the person was. This is the magic of physics. Coming back to time travel, wormholes actually promote the concept of time travel. I already did a video on time travel. You can check it out, the link in the description. So what are wormholes? Wormholes are actually holes which connect two universes through a black hole and a white hole. So you might be familiar with the term of black hole. I also did a video on black hole. I'll drop that link too. But a black hole is found in our universe, our 5% of observable universe, and white hole is something which is found behind a wormhole. And a wormhole acts like a barrier, or you can say a tunnel. It acts like a tunnel, not a barrier. Okay, so if anything passes through a wormhole through this black hole, it actually enters another universe where time is going in a different manner. It is said that if you throw a clock inside a black hole, that clock actually starts running anti-clockwise. It is not because it gets bad or it gets disrupted, it gets damaged. No, the time is in negative there, so it runs anti-clockwise. So the time behind a wormhole might be different as well, so you might reach to the past. In a very famous statement, Stephen Hawking said that if time travel is possible, where are the tours from the future or the past? He said the future, but let's take past into consideration as well, because time travel is possible to the past, while those traveling to the past will actually travel to the future to come to the present. Like if someone is traveling from the past to the future, they'll actually reach the present, because the present is actually future to them. I'm sure you're understanding it. It's not sounding confusing. I respect Stephen Hawking a lot. In fact, I consider him to be my idol, but this statement is slight contradictory, because time travelers are also humans. So if they travel to the past or to the future, they might be in the crowd. They might be with us, but can you know that they are time travelers? Because who said that time travelers are not humans and they are something else? They do not belong to the same species of Homo sapien. No, they are also humans. If you've seen Doraemon, which I've very much seen in my childhood, you might be familiar with the drawer of Doraemon, where there is a time machine. He travels to the past or to the future. I don't have to do anything with the drawer. I'm not saying that today you open a drawer and go into it and then you reach a different time zone. No, I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, whenever Nobita and Doraemon travel to the past or to the future, they actually hid themselves. They didn't want to show themselves. So there might be time travelers in the crowd, and they might be hiding themselves. But time machine is not yet created, so I trust in that part of Sir Stephen Hawking's statement, but I don't trust him that much for this. Washing my hands in the river, let me tell you about a very famous myth. Let me clear it in the very beginning. It is a myth. There are no confirmed evidences for it, but hear this out. It is said that it was actually a time traveler who traveled from the future to the past. And where to the past? To the time of a very renowned scientist, Sir Albert Einstein. And he, the traveler, told him about the energy equivalent mass formula, E is equals to mc squared. But look to it how contradictory it is. If a traveler told Sir Albert Einstein about the formula E is equals to mc squared, the formula was never actually discovered, because it was Sir Albert Einstein who discovered the formula. So this was all about paradox, time travel, and parallel universes. Today there are no book recommendations, because still I'm not at the comfort of my place. I'll surely recommend more books once I reach. That's why I was uploading YouTube shorts and not complete videos, but here it is. If you've got any particular recommendations on which you want me to make a video upon, drop it down in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day ahead.